you ever been listening to a song and suddenly a memory arises and you're instantaneously transported there? Well, that happens to me every time I listen to music. And I have found myself improving my grades the more often I listen to music tied to my study time. So my speaker credibility. Seeing as I am a student, or have been a student for a majority of my life, I would say through experience I score higher on exams and homework assignments when music is present. The relevance to the audience. My audience is either in school, knows somebody in school, or has a child that's in school. My goal here is to increase your knowledge and increase your overall test scores. And also to persuade you to listen to music and promote music in the classroom. Classical jazz, heavy metal, hip hop, and R&B. Regardless of your favorite genre, I say we as a collective delve into test scores while jamming and not jamming. So students without music. A study performed by Dr. Linda Thornton of the PMEA Research Committee at the Pennsylvania State University showed that fifth graders score on average 50 points lower on math PSSA tests and 100 points lower on reading PSSA tests. A PSSA test is like the state test, like park exams, OGTs, that we're more familiar with here in Ohio. The College Board of College-Bound Seniors performed a study and showed that individuals who had studied music or had no musical connection, had not studied music and had no musical connections, scored on average a 1455 on their ACT or SAT. Whereas those who had studied music or had connections to music scored on average a 1603. And like I said, that comes from the College Board of College-Bound Seniors. So first I want to go into, with students in music, I wanted to discuss the Mozart effect. So the Mozart effect was a research founded by R.H. Rauscher, J.L. Shaw, and K.N.K.Y. And what they did was they studied individuals who listened to music while studying, doing exams, or just, throughout life. They found that on average, an individual had a spatial IQ increase of 8 to 9 points. That's a lot. I don't know if you guys know the spatial IQ increase. If you're like at 50, it's a pretty big deal. I think it's 40, you're mentally retarded, but I don't know. All right, then I wanted to discuss Bloom's taxonomy. So as my goal as a future educator, my goal is to move students from lots to hots. So seeing as we see an increase in individuals' knowledge when they listen to music, I want to have music playing 24/7 in the background in my classroom. As you said, or as I stated, research shows it increases 8 to 9 IQ points. So what LOTS stands for is lower order thinking skills. And then you have your higher order thinking skills. So my goal as an educator is to move students from LOTS to HOTS. So with the power of music, we can do it. So everyone that I know has had one of those frustrating moments when you're just angry with life, but then your jam comes on and your entire mood changes. Looking at all you, especially you. All right, so since 2006, two researchers, a neuroscientist named Kimbanabu Sagaya and violinist Akio Yanatani, I think I got that right, have been studying students while teaching classes at the Burnett Honors College. The research shows that music affects the brain in many different ways, improving cognitive functioning, fine motor skills, along with a reduction in student stress, pain, and signs of depression. Researchers also noticed an increase in spatial learning and neurogenesis. Neurogenesis is the production of neurons. It's also how you create memories. That information comes via pubmed.gov. So pubmed.gov also states that music affects every portion of the brain, from the frontal lobe, which is up here, to your putamen, which is back here in the back of your head. So the two that I want to focus on today are the frontal lobe, which oversees most of our cognitive functioning, such as thinking, planning, moving. Then I want to focus on the putamen. So the putamen, if I'm saying that correctly, is known to produce large amounts of dopamine. Dopamine is that feel-good hormone, and has been linked to decrease in the effects of Parkinson's disease and anxiety. And the ultimate goal there is to help students decrease in test anxiety. I don't know if that's something we all struggle from. I know it's certainly something I do, and that comes via PubMed as well. So you may be asking yourselves, what is the best music for brain functionality? Well, although music is completely subjective, as I'm sure some of you prefer to listen to hip hop and R&B, while some prefer to listen to Mozart. Maybe, I don't know. Sorry if you do. So they say that a binaural music beat is the best. So what that does is it releases two different tones in each ear and leaves a gap for your brain to create its own pitch and frequency. So when that happens, it allows you to create almost like a memory within it. And that's why when you hear the beat drop, it's like instantaneously you're transported back to that moment. That's called. And that comes via Provido of the University of Gulf. I think I got that right. So, as I stated previously, music is completely subjective. As I prefer to listen to artists like Joyner Lucas and Big Sean, some of Big Sean's music, when studying, whereas others could prefer Mozart. The overall goal of music while studying is to promote, healthy dopamine production and to help reduce your test anxiety. So now that we as a collective understand the overall positives of music and student success when we listen to music and our brain when we listen to music, we can now discuss how we can further integrate music into schools. So integration into the school is one of the most difficult things you can do. As singular individuals, as some of you, I don't know if you all are going to be teachers, not 100% sure. If you're not, the best way to do it is to go out and talk to your board members, talk to your teachers, talk to them and see what their plan is, see if they're into music, see if there's a way that we can bridge a gap. If we can integrate music, I promise you, you would see an increase in overall knowledge for all individuals. So, my ultimate goal here is to state, do not be afraid to turn up that Nicki Minaj, talking to you, or Mozart music, as it can help increase your cognitive functioning. Students in music during exams, I hope I have educated you on how you can positively affect your overall learning ability and help persuade you towards music integration. So what is my specific call to action or my overall behavior change for all of you? My ultimate goal here was to educate and persuade each and every one of you to go out and educate and persuade individuals to listen to music. So, poor taste in music doesn't matter. Turn it up and jam. Thank you. And are there any questions? No?